This would be massive if true. I'm going to tease that, and then we're going to come back to that here in just a moment. I'm coming to you on probably the best day of the year. As many of you know, NBA tips off tonight. The 2025-26 season will start with, I guess, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Houston Rockets, whatever. But yeah, what's even better for Mavs fans is that we don't have to wait much longer. We actually get to see our opening night against the San Antonio Spurs in about 32 hours. So buckle up, fam. It's time. It is time. I am your host, Ethan, the advisor Clayton, and this is Your Mavs, a Dallas Mavericks podcast where all are welcome, but y'all better behave. Today, we're gonna dive into a couple of updates to start off our episode. First of which, a lot of people saw this one coming. Okay, Jason Kidd has signed a contract extension after garnering a lot of interest from the New York Knicks over the summer. Now, you may be thinking, well, so did Quinn Snyder, so did Billy Donovan. You know what? Some of those guys have already gotten their contract extensions. Now, Jason Kidd's got his. And if my math is correct, this extension on top of an extension will actually make his contract last longer than Anthony Davis, Kyrie Irving, Nico Harrison. Okay. It is very, very well documented that Patrick Dumont said this is our leader of the future. This is a coach that not only has a strong grasp of the game of basketball, but he's also an impact guy. He is very much in the mindset of impacting young players and creating an awesome place for everyone to learn the game of basketball together. So this was an extreme vote of confidence from Patrick Dumont and team ownership to go ahead and extend Jason Kidd's contract all the way to the 28-29 season. Okay. On top of that, guys, something really exciting happened on Monday, October the 20th. Again, a lot of you saw this coming. This is not really a surprise, but it does have big implications for our future. Derek Lively's team option within his contract was exercised by the Dallas Mavericks, so he will rejoin. I guess, he never left, but he's dialed in. He's locked in for another full season, which means our number one objective next summer, as well, as long as everything goes according to plan, will be to extend Derek Lively's rookie contract for once and for all. So this was a step in that direction. He's not extension eligible just yet. But what we did do is we went ahead and said, yeah, we want to keep you another season. Great. No big surprises there. Let's move on to what I consider to be kind of a rumor. Okay. If you look at the Mavericks preseason action, okay, the third and the fourth games, so against the Utah Jazz last Monday, October the 13th, and then against the LA Lakers on Wednesday, October the 22nd, our first overall pick, the crown jewel of our franchise going into the future, Cooper Flagg, started at point guard. And the rumor is that because we want to be so defensive-minded coming out the start, at opening tip-off, we're going to put a defensive unit on the court. And that's going to have Cooper Flagg at the 1, Klay Thompson at the 2, PJ Washington at the 3, AD at the 4, and Derek Lively at the 5. Now, again, this is just a rumor. The Mavericks did sign D'Angelo Russell over the summer to be a stopgap point guard while Kyrie is nursing an ACL tear and needing to really recover on his own time. But as well as we saw D'Angelo Russell play, it seemed like Cooper Flagg has kind of cemented his role as the starter, because in the time that he played point guard, in the minutes in the games that he started, he had 0 turnovers. Now, he wasn't putting up huge assist numbers. He wasn't shooting the ball super well. We're not really interested in that right now. What we're looking for is someone that's going to come in, take care of the ball, make the right play at the right time. And he's a way better defender than D'Angelo Russell. He's a way better defender than Brandon Williams, right? So if we find ourselves, you're probably going to hear me bring this up a lot. If we find ourselves in a situation where we're up against OKC and we've got SGA and an ISO situation, who are you going to feel better about guarding him in that situation? Is it going to be Cooper Flagg or is it going to be D'Angelo Russell? I think many of us would agree, right? We want to see Cooper Flagg, even if he's playing out of position per se. and having to do more than hopefully you would want him to do in his rookie season. He is the better defender, and he will lock people down. Now, going up against NBA B and C teams during the preseason, he held opponents to 8 of 37 shooting. So when we talk about this being a defensive-minded starting rotation, again, Cooper Flagg, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, and Derek Lively, it becomes pretty clear that Cooper at the 1 does become one of our best defensive looks, okay? It's not necessarily something I want to see long-term. That is technically him playing out of position, but I believe this is a wonderful thing for his development because, again, he's getting a lot of one-on-one time with some of the best guards in the NBA, and we're all saying, like, all right, homie, let's lock him up. That's really good for his development because, again, if he's guarding nothing but 6'8", 6'9" guys, that's not really a challenge for him. I believe the quote is, if you're better than everyone in the gym, then go find another gym. I think this is his way of leveling up. At the start of his rookie season, he found another gym, y'all. And instead of just playing what he knows, starting at the 3 or 4, we're going to roll the dice. We're going to start him at the 1. That's just a rumor. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. Again, when we see somebody like that has the ball in his hands that much and does not turn the ball over, I think that's a good look. And again, to hold your opponents to 8 of 37 from the field, I mean, that my math says that's less than 25%. That's what we want to see, especially to start games. Okay. So we talked about a couple updates. Again, Jason Kidd got his contract extended through the 28-29 season. We saw the Dallas Mavericks opt in to that team option for Derek Lively's contract. So we're going to have him at least one more year before we start entering the rookie contract extension conversations. Okay. So those are some big updates. The rumor is that maybe we continue with the starting 5 that we saw in the last 2 games of the preseason. I don't know. Here's another one for you. Rumor is Ryan Nembhard is going to be getting some serious rotation minutes to start the season. And I got to say, guys, we got to figure that out pretty quickly because with his 2-way contract being, how he was signed, well, you're capped at 50 games at the NBA level. So if he is part of our rotation from day one, that means we see something in him, which obviously we do. He's incredible as a floor general. But we got to figure out the whole 50-game maximum thing or find a way to convert his to a full-time contract. Now, moving right along, the third pillar of our daily episodes. Let's talk about trades, okay? Now, this is all, again, just kind of off the cuff here. I don't have any concrete information or anything that's been reported. I just know what I'm seeing on the basketball court, okay? Every game in the preseason, Derek Lively did start, and he looked awesome, right? He's doing D-Live things. We even took the opportunity against I believe it was the Utah Jazz to, okay, you look good. Let's go ahead and rest you the rest of the game. We're not worried. We're not trying to push the envelope here and risk an injury, but he's got the 5 locked up in our starting lineup, okay? AD, however, during stretches, especially against the Jazz and the Lakers, the last 2 games, he saw some extended time at the 5. And I got to tell you, fam, if you didn't see it with your own eyes, it was some of our most productive basketball, right? It finally gave Mavs fans something to be like, you know what? We were right all along. AD does need to be playing at the 5. Daniel Gafford feels like the odd man out when we look at our 5 rotation. So, again, let's say D-Live starts. Let's say that as the game progresses, AD slides into the 5. There's not a whole lot of minutes left for our guy Daniel Gafford to do what he does best: rim protection, being a rim runner on the offensive side. It seemed like he and AD had some really good pick and roll type of chemistry last season. But I don't necessarily want to trade him, but I'm here to tell you that at this time, he is who it would make the most sense to trade. I like the idea of having Klay Thompson as a 2 coming off the bench. Maybe that relegates a position for for Max Christie to enter our starting lineup. But that's not what I'm focused on right now. I'm focused on we need someone that can shoot. We need some offensive creation at the 2 position. So I'm gonna put our guy Daniel Gafford on the chopping block, and I've narrowed it down to a couple of guys just for money matching purposes. I'm kind of focused on 2 guys right now. One is Jaden Ivey for the Detroit Pistons. Now, if you recognize that name at all, you might already be thinking, no, Ethan, let's not do that. He's injury prone. This team has enough injury prone guys. That's totally fair. But here's kind of what I'm thinking. He is a dynamic ball handler, a dynamic scorer. He can go get a shot at any point. He is good at sharing the rock. I think he would fit perfectly with the type of pace that we're trying to implement in our offense. And again, with his quick feet in a flow offense, I think he could unlock some really beautiful things for the rest of our players on the court. So I like Jaden Ivey for that exact reason. Not an awesome defender. He's not a knockdown 3-point shooter, but he is better than what we got. And right now there is trouble in paradise with Detroit. I say trouble in paradise. At this moment, they are not talking contract extensions with Jalen Duren and Jaden Ivey. So that means either they are looking to see what they could get in the trade market for those guys, or we're going to be entering a tumultuous summer, kind of like with what we saw with Josh Giddey and Quentin Grimes and Jonathan Kuminga, where there may be holdouts in these conversations because Jaden Ivey thinks he's worth X, okay, but the Pistons are only able to pay Y, or they only think he's worth Y. So I want to swoop in and take advantage of that unsettled nature of Detroit's backcourt and Detroit's rotation. And I want to go in and see if they would take our guy Daniel Gafford in exchange. Now, it's not a perfect situation here. This is not a perfect tit for tat type of trade. I understand that. I'm not a GM. I will let all of the GMs that listen to this sound off on their opinions. But listen, if we're talking about making salary match, okay, the Mavericks cannot take in more than they send out, okay? We're going to be hard capped at that first apron. So this is a way that we would actually shed a little bit of salary. And I don't know that this does all that much for Detroit, but at the moment they do have a little bit of an abundance of centers on their roster where they can have beef stew coming off the bench. They also have I'm drawing a total blank. Paul Reed, which I would love to have him included in that deal because again we don't want to totally decimate our center depth. But right now, if it comes to having shooters and offensive creators on our roster, and then versus having a solid third string center, I'm going to go with the shooting. Okay, I think we're going to see pretty clearly that shooting is our weakness, and so I'm going to go ahead and trade Daniel Gafford for Jaden Ivey in today's episode. If we don't like that and we want to keep this conversation going, I've got another idea. His name rhymes with Boston Shreves, okay? So, again, this is for salary matching purposes and to fill the void of offensive creation and shooting on our roster. Okay, I have failed you as a podcaster so far. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and hit that little bell on your screen to be notified whenever a new episode drops. The idea is that this is going to drop every day. They're going to be, I don't know, from 8 to 15-minute episodes, and we're going to talk all things Mavs. But for now, I'm going to leave you with all that. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Let's chat about it. Y'all be good.